Welcome back, everybody. We are back for another edition of the Marketplace Mavericks. What's up, guys?
Hey, it's
Hey,
Blake and Pete.
and Pete. Yeah, I'm Pete.
Yeah,
Glad to
we
have you
are
guys joining us today
three
again.
guys in their first Q4.
Hmm.
Um, not knowing what to expect, not preparing for it whatsoever.
Because you really don't know what to do.
No, you don't really know what to do.
Well, we,
So,
we we heard rumors there was like this huge to do about Q4 being this massive influx of sales, and we'll kind of talk about it and see what if that came true or not so
yeah,
far.
I think
So
some
far.
of it, I think for OA guys, always Q4 is massive, huge. Um, for wholesale guys, I've heard two different like ends of it. I've heard either um, they do something like a third of their business in Q4, and especially like Black Friday, just November, December in general, or they're really not touched by it all that much. It really depends on like what niche like you've fallen into. Um, some guys are like, and the guys that really ramp up for Q4 and wholesale, usually they're buying the products in October, um, and then not really just sitting back and letting it sell in November and December. But I know some guys that are doing, they're almost tripling their business from going into Q4. And then I talked to another wholesaler, and it really didn't like. He's like, "Yeah, we bump, but like those just aren't our products." Chances are one of the other wholesalers, like he might be selling very specific, like Christmas tree.
Legos or
Right.
something.
Yeah, like something very either like in the toy category or in the straight up like decoration type category, things like that, where it's really specific. Because I know one of them that I talked to, he secured accounts really back in. He had to secure his inventory back in the summertime for it. So
Wow.
I have a feeling like his stuff is probably not even toys. It's probably decorations or something very, you know, Christmas specific or Hanukkah or some sort of something going around the holidays. But yeah, for me, I didn't think anything was going to happen, and I doubled my business what I normally do.
You doubled your business on
More than
Black
double.
Friday. More than
More
doubled on Black Friday. And your product that you're selling right now, John, is it a geared towards any kind of a gift
kind of.
market?
Some is, some isn't. I think some of it was just the added traffic on Amazon is going to boost anybody's, is going to boost sales. I did sell through some of my last like OA close type stuff. Um, and this might take me a year or two or three to really figure it out. You do have to like, if you really want to sell, I had to advertise the products I was selling. I had to run coupons. I had to run stuff. So margins are smaller, um, but a lot more quantity, a lot more, just velocity that way. So it's probably going to take me a couple of years to even find out if, what is better. Keep your prices up and make more money or sell more. Chances are,
Fast nickel slowdown.
yeah, chances are the way that it's set up. But if you have very specific like holiday items, then you're not discounting those. You're actually getting the most money for them in Q4 and around the holidays. So
Okay.
you're probably making more. I think some of the stuff that I did, I just had to discount to get it moving. But I still like did well for it. I would like every day to be like that. Um,
Well, yeah, I think everybody would love to have those kind of days. It's the unfortunate reality that some product, as you even said, like you didn't expect some of your stuff to move, and it did. And I think just having the traffic there helps boost some of that. Uh, I'll talk about mine, but Pete, give us a little bit of an idea of what your Q4, specifically Black Friday, looked like for you.
yeah, sure. So start of Q4 is what the beginning of November, and I don't know. We just kind of heard crickets. We weren't really seeing much of a sales bump at all, and so we thought, what's kind of hot during the seasonal time? Maybe we can just go buy a product that's hot, like a calendar or something, like an advent calendar that we can go buy and kind of, try to push that a little bit. And that's exactly what we did around Black Friday timeframe. My wife went and traveled to all the Walmarts around town, around Central Texas, did a 250-mile loop around to each Walmart in Central Texas, and came back with like 40 units. And luckily, we sold all through all 40 by Black Friday. And so that was really the only bump that we saw. Everything else is just kind of like not really moving. And we do have quite a bit of inventory, so that's why I was really kind of surprised. Um, but we're starting to try to find other things to kind of start promoting and see if we can get our sales continuing to move. But that was really our only bump, with just those calendars.
Okay. And so that was something you guys were able to go do some RA with,
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
able to find something that was working. And was that, so I'm again still on the OA side. When you looked at that calendar in SellerAmp, which I think most of our people are going to be familiar with,
Mhm.
was the sales like 100 a day, 100 a month, or what was that you looked at that said, hey, I can do this?
Yeah.
Because
Let's see. What was it?
that's one of the main criteria myself that I look at
Yeah.
is what's moving. I know I got the ROI set up and I got all these different things set up, but one of the main factors that I look at is how many are selling through the month.
Right. I think the number was like 4 or 5 thousand, which
Oh,
seemed
whoa,
kind of
that's a big
seemed
one.
kind of odd, but you know, because the Advent calendar is something very seasonal.
Very.
You don't sell that many a month like in February or March, do you? I mean, I
The
don't know.
Advent calendar is probably such fire, but after the first, I was going to get my kids an Advent calendar, even though
Hmm.
they're too old. They don't actually believe any, but I like to get them Advent calendars, and I
Yeah.
forgot. Like, I mean, I suppose I go on Amazon and order one today, but like, I was
Yeah.
like, oh, we're already past. Like, once you're past the first,
Right. Right.
other than some bozos like me who might order them for my kids tonight, uh,
There's
like,
always those.
yeah, like
Yeah.
the Advent calendars are like you got to be ordering. You got to really have those in stock.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
it's
did you RA those? I
probably
mean,
like a 1 month blitz. I mean, people are probably
FBM.
buying those literally 2 weeks before, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what has to happen. It has to be Those have to be timed. That's why I was saying that's seasonal. You can't just like buy those anytime during the year. It has to be like a certain exact time, and you have to get
Yeah.
them shipped out by a certain date. So
That's now that's something that I think a lot of guys can remember. Your first year doing it. Now
hmm
next year it's like, oh hey, in September, I'm going
hmm
to go start looking for Advent calendars.
yeah,
I'm going to
yep,
start getting them now. That's almost something like I was talking about the wholesale guys that are really purchasing all of their holiday stuff in September, sometimes August.
hmm
And they said they're like, yeah, it hurts a little bit to put that cash out like so early, but and this is why I think what they're selling is not just toys. I think it's advent calendars. I think it's very specific, like
hmm
Christmas stuff, um, because they're like, it's too much money. The velocity is just off the charts. And with
hmm
Christmas stuff and advent calendars, you're going to get more money. You're not going to have to discount like I had to discount on Black Friday. You want to sell through because whatever you have left after Christmas, that's when you're going to have to like probably drop the price quite a
right,
bit. So
right,
these guys are, my guess is if you're willing to put the money out in August and September for something that you're selling in December, really, like November, it's December, and you're probably, these guys are large. They're probably putting six figures out to buy this stuff. That means it's real good.
Yeah. And of course, you got
And
to
the
have that capital.
profit is the margin. Yeah, the margins are probably. But when you're big like that, you allocate certain capital. So for you to allocate capital to leave out there
That's a
that
long
long,
time.
that's not just velocity. That means it's also margin. That means those guys are probably pulling 20-25% margin off that
Right.
stuff. And that's why they're like, if I got to run a little thin for 2 months and not have the cash that I normally want, like I know come November 15th, that sucker just starts,
Moving.
ripping. And they do that year over year. And they say they make a lot of their profit with that. So I think definitely like as you start coming up to more Q4s and more, that's the type of knowledge. Even an OA guy knows, like, hey, my advent calendars, I got to start looking September 15th. I'm going to start buying them now, even if you hold them at your house.
Mhm.
You start to see what holiday products are like worth putting some cash out in September, or something you don't really want to do, but you just know come November, like you're gonna make the money.
Yeah. Well, I will somewhat echo what Pete said. I never did see a dip, but I didn't ever see a massive influx either. I will say today, being Cyber Monday, of course, we're recording here on Monday, but I would say on Cyber Monday today, I have noticed more random items
Me
that
too.
maybe I've sold them before, but they're hitting today, and I wouldn't even say it's a plethora of them. It's just more random clicks and buys than what I was getting on these certain items, and so yeah, I would say I didn't have a ton on the Black Friday bump, but again, I didn't have specific targeted items that was in my mind gift worthy per se, and so I think that probably plays into some of it. But again, some of the other things that were bought today on Cyber Monday, yes, I will say those are and can be bought as gifts. And so I can see why that would be a little bit of a bump. Of course, the day's young, but right now, yeah, I haven't, I've noticed a more versatile selection has been chosen from my store today than maybe what is on the regular. So not a massive bump, but I still got a little bit, I guess, of a bump.
Yeah.
I think that me personally, my expectations for Q4 have been super high, just because we came in at the tail end of last year, right? We all three of us came in January, and so we've been told about the mythical season of Q4 that just really pays everybody's bills and then some, and so our expectations were like super high. But Q4 is not over, so I'm still, my expectations are still kind of high, still waiting for Christmas to come around and see if our sales do in fact start
Have you
getting.
have you gone into your repricer?
I have, yeah. We've been using the repricer to see if that can move some stuff too.
Yeah, I do know that a lot of people on Black Friday and stuff like that, at least with the wholesale stuff, you got to advertise really heavily in order to get a buy box. I think a lot of people, even if you have map pricing, they ignore it for a couple days. Um, I kind of mark some of my stuff up to mark it down. You get tricky, same stuff everybody does, but it's pretty much like, I mean, there's really no difference between Black Friday and next Wednesday. It's just,
It's just when people go to the computer shop,
yeah,
a defined day for them to do that.
yeah, yeah. Um,
I don't
because
know
I
about
could,
you, but my wife doesn't need any specific day to say, let's do it today. It seems like my wife does that on any day that ends with the word DAY.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They don't need that, but they will use it as an excuse.
They'll use that as an extra excuse.
Mhm.
I shouldn't talk because I do the same thing.
I knew you were part
I
lady,
went
John.
black. I went black. I don't. I would never walk into a store on Black Friday. But
No,
I went online. I'm like, oh, let's see these deals. I am buying. I bought stuff for myself.
you did.
Yeah, yeah. I bought stuff for myself.
Is it something you could even tell the audience what you bought for yourself, John?
Mostly I love gadgets. I love
What's a gadget? What do you mean? Like what?
like so. I've bought junk off TikTok Shop.
Oh, okay, okay,
I bought stuff off TikTok. I love gadgets, like
okay.
stupid gadgets. Like I used to always buy info from infomercials.
Oh, that kind of
Not
stuff.
like
Yeah.
not like stacked up in my house where I'm some hoarder. But sometimes I was one of the first people to buy a Ninja.
But do you know what a Floby is?
I sure do. I almost bought one if
It
I didn't
looks
already
like
have
you
one.
cut your hair with a Floby, John.
Yeah, no, like you could, but I've bought all kinds of stuff online. I'll admit it. I was one of the first people to buy a Ninja. You know why I bought the Ninja?
Are you talking about a Ninja like a crock pot thing?
Yeah, the Ninja
Or,
like blender. At first, it was a blender,
oh,
and
see, I
it
didn't know
turned on
that.
infomercials. And I bought
Mhm.
it because I don't know if you guys know this, but all the blades on a Ninja were forged by a Ninja.
Now you're really geeking out on me,
Yeah,
Wow.
and
Josh.
they even had a Ninja on the infomercial.
Shut up.
Yeah, well, he slashed prices.
Sliced them?
Yeah, so that started it. But yeah, I bought a lot of dumb things, like kitchen gadgets, stuff you think
Yeah.
you need, you don't. I bought the Ninja Creamy last year, which is like an
Okay.
ice cream maker. It is the most obnoxious thing in the world. It's loud. It takes forever. The ice cream is crappy, no matter how you do it. Just go to the store and get ice cream.
Okay. Pete,
I
it
had
sounds like we need a little fact about you here.
Yeah, so it took me it just took me about $250 to realize that. And then of course because I spent $250, I had to keep using it.
Oh, of course, you got to get the money's worth.
And the original reason why I bought it was I said I'm going to cuz it showed how you can make like healthy ice cream and like protein ice cream. So I was like, I'll make protein ice cream for myself and it'll be healthy. Well, that ice cream tastes terrible. So I went to just the regular ice cream. So yeah, don't buy Ninja Creamy. But
Got it.
yeah, so I did. So I think Black Friday is a lot of shopping like that. I did get my kids; they needed new phones, so we got new phones. But yeah, overall, I think it's just the entire month.
It is.
And we're still newbies. It's our first Q4. But I actually while I was sourcing this week for wholesale products, I actually called 3 different brands that sell like Christmas type things, knowing they weren't going to let me buy them now.
Right.
But now, if you're doing wholesale, now is the time to source that. Call, get your foot
Get on their radar.
Yeah, and even say hey, listen, I know we're not selling this now. I've already missed the window. I was like, how about we have a call? Then you can ask them hey, when do you make your decisions? Or when do you need to
That's good info.
And he's like, oh yeah, well I take January off and I come back, give me a call February. So now a couple of them I started and some of this stuff I'll look in January and February and see what the sales are. They're still gonna sell stuff, just not a ton. And basically that's when you start buying and get in with them. And then put your large orders in come, next year. But you want to start buying from him.
Start that relationship and buying relationship.
Yeah.
Yep.
It might not be much, or you might, but at least you're in, so
Which is the hardest part.
Right. So I kind of started making those phone calls and those follow-ups because I have some other smaller toy brands. And so start getting those contacts in to hopefully be able to open those accounts just looking down the road.
Yeah.
Because he was yeah, we do 80% of our business Q4, and it was just the numbers for these things were crazy, and there's only 4 sellers on it, so it's wholesale, and these numbers, it's a $30 product for $5,000 a month, and he only allows 4 or 5 sellers on there, so it's damn,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
Yep.
So you put a couple of those together and kind of find those throughout the year. And that's how I started to realize oh, that's what Q4 is like. If I took an effort this year to really contact, if I was able to find 2 or 3 brands, now a $30 unit, if I can sell 1,000 in a month, that's 30 grand. So I put 3 of those together, of those brands together for next Q4, that's $100K.
Yep.
Over what I would normally do. And normally you might, if you're doing 30K, it looks like in the off season, you'll probably do maybe sell 2,000-3,000 of them a month. Still a little bit of income, enough to just stay in stock with it and stay in touch with the brand owner. But then come Q4, you're doing 1,000 a month for 2 months.
Yeah.
3 months, 2-3 months. So that's where I started to see. I'm oh, okay, I can see how Q4 does that big bump. But what's nice is that stuff you don't have to discount.
Yeah, for sure.
You don't have you don't have to do what people are doing with clothes and toys, where you've got to bang out all this money. The true Q4 stuff, the true stuff, with these guys, I think when they say, "Hey, I go off the charts on Q4 for a wholesaler," that is somebody that has like very specific Christmas items that he needs to sell because
Yeah.
as Christmas is over, you know, you got to drop the price 30% to even get rid of it. You know, say you're selling Christmas trees or something like that. So the hardest part is also probably honing in and getting the right number. You know?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you don't know where, and that's the weird thing. I mean, you can buy stuff right now, whether you're OA or RA, it doesn't matter what it is. And you might buy it. And I think that was one of the first, not mistakes, first things we all probably, one of the first things we all learned. Buying today at the good price does not mean whenever you get that sent into Amazon that it is still at that good price. It may tank, which seems to be the case most of the time, or you may get a huge bump that allows you to make more money on the item. So yeah, I think that was definitely something that we all learned in the very beginning.
Yeah, yeah. And I think with these, with this sort of, it would just be, getting the right amount would be the hardest. Like, you don't want to sell through too early, but then again, you don't want to get too much of it because if you got
Be
to,
stuck with it.
if you got to drop, if you know, like, hey, I got to drop this 40% come after Christmas and you have too much inventory left,
Yeah, you didn't make any money.
you might not end up making any money, even though you sold so many of your units for a great profit, but that last 10% of them or 20% of
Ate
them
every bit of profit you had.
ate every bit of profit you had, you know? So I think that's probably the, the hard part of,
Yeah.
so really you'd probably want to go a little less than a little more, sell through, at least you're going to make money on what you have.
Right.
You know? Ideally, we'd all like to, they'd like to run out on December 23rd.
Sure.
And be done with it. I just wonder how these guys calculate that because you really don't have too much, like, how many years are you going to buy this product? I guess if you buy it for years and years, you can really hone in on it, but, like, you really don't know.
Right.
It's still going to be a guessing game because, like, you're doing. It sounded like one of the brand owners I talked to, it sounded like he was pretty involved in it. Like, I think he like allots a certain amount to each seller, and he kind of tells you what you can buy.
Okay.
So it's probably quite a bit of stuff because, like I said, some of these were like 4,000 or 5,000 a month right now, and 5 sellers.
Yeah.
So, like, they're cooking.
Nice.
So
Very nice.
For those, but that'll
Of course.
be for next year. But it definitely made me like stop on some products I normally wouldn't have stopped on and been like, maybe we need to give this guy a call, or like maybe I need to, I think I had luck with one of them.
Right.
Like, once I had luck, and he was like, "Hey, give me a call back." I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna find 20 more of these, and maybe
Absolutely. When they want you to call them back.
yeah, get 3 more people to tell them to call them back." So,
And as a reminder, you're finding all these people on LinkedIn, right?
not all of it. Smart Scout, I do a lot of Keepa.
Okay.
But yeah, now I'm starting to see really the how good you have to be at following up. Like it's the follow ups. It's not the initial. It's the follow ups. It's the what I like now is the people that I contacted back in May and back in June when I didn't really know what I was talking about. Some of the ones that I have notes for, to call back, I remember and I look at the website and stuff. And now when I'm calling them back, I know a lot more. I'm much more comfortable. I kind of remember the conversation we have. I also go into my Outlook, and so I can see the emails.
Email chain.
Back and forth. And once I get like an email that says like, "Hey, get back to us in 2 months," or not get back to us, or we're not doing that, or whatever it is that's a follow up, I flag the email and tell me to remind me in 3 months.
Yeah.
So then it's not just I have to look at a list. I start like every day when I open my computer, I have all my follow-ups, and then I can kind of read the emails, and then it comes back to you.
Right.
I've contacted over 800 brands and distributors. Like, I can't remember them all. Even if I'm looking at like my Google sheet. And it's
that's just too much information.
It's just too much information. So I'm like, oh, so like a couple months ago, I was like, oh, let me start doing it on my in my Outlook, which is actually easier. And then I have the both follow-ups. So then usually once I can look at the email and scroll through and see the 2 or 3 emails we sent to each other, it comes back to me.
Comes back to you, yeah.
You know? So that is like, I just realized that like not too long ago of that feature. I was like, oh, that's a good,
I
So
imagine
I'm
that
probably,
song just that song replays in your head. It's all coming back to me, something
yeah,
like that.
because like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of things, like I got one here that said check back full for e-commerce. At the time, I was like, yeah, I'll
Huh?
remember all that. Now I'm
Yeah,
looking
right,
back going, I don't remember the tone of the call, like
right,
what the email
right.
sounded like. And that was one like I called back in June.
Okay.
And suppose, and it's just like all of a sudden I'm like, oh, so all those follow ups that were 4 or 5 months down the road, 6 months down the road, I'm like, there they are.
Yep.
And eventually you get them. I might
Hey,
call them
all it
back.
takes is one or two or three, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I might call back. They might say, like, I'll stop reaching out. I'm going to reach out for probably another 2 weeks, and then I'll stop reach out for the rest of the year. I think the last 2 weeks of December are just useless to
Dead
do it.
weeks. Yeah, he ain't
Yeah,
gonna do nothing with
everyone's
those.
going on vacation. You're definitely not doing it the week in between Christmas and New Year's.
Right.
So now it's really all about systems. Like I just broke down and I got rid of SellerBoard. Nothing is accurate on it. They don't help you. It's $20 a month. Like,
Right.
what do you expect? And
Yep.
it's fine, but I'm like, I need to see everything single SKU. I need to see if Amazon is changing their fees. I need to see my shipments. I need to see what my real P&L is.
So where are you going now, John? If you're not using SellerBoard, you found something else.
I
What are you
went
doing
to
now?
ConnectBooks, and
ConnectBooks.
so I have QuickBooks Online that I had to get. Well, I mean, I've used it before, but I knew this time of year, I was like, all right, I got to do the QuickBooks, and then QuickBooks you can connect to Amazon. I would not recommend it, but there's this program. There's a couple of them, but ConnectBooks, that's a full inventory management system, and it talks to your QuickBook. It is the link between QuickBooks and Amazon. So it
Okay.
connects with your Amazon, but I do all my purchase. I mean, I'm still being trained on it. It's actually why I did it now. I want to do it in December, so I'm really ready to go
Ready.
come
Yeah.
January. Because I just know with all the brands that I'm launching, I'm like, things are going to get out of control, and they're going to get out of control like fast. And I need to see manage cash
How and
flow.
what? Yep.
I need to see all of it, and I need it to be fucking correct.
Yeah.
You know, um, and this comes down to where I start a purchase order. I do the purchase order, and when it starts to go through and like it turns into an invoice, it turns it into an invoice, and then I take what I bought and I link it to the warehouse and the shipment, the FBA shipment. I
Nice.
link the two together, so it's going to tell me exactly what my freight charges are for that order.
Probably down to per item, right?
Right down to the SKU, so I can see
Yeah.
everything. If fees change, if they get transferred, uh, inventory discrepancies, everything this thing does. Um, and then you start matching all your costs go in there, all bills, everything go in there, and then it downloads directly into my QuickBooks. And I do.
Very
I
cool.
I hate QuickBooks, but I know I'm like I'm gonna
You know how to
do it,
operate. Yeah.
and I can literally download it. He goes, because other than QuickBooks, I can pay invoices with, but we don't write checks. I don't do payroll through QuickBooks. I used to use QuickBooks a lot with other companies.
Business. Right.
But I really don't need to with this. All I need is the totals, put it down. Really, the only thing I'm going to use QuickBooks for, pay some invoices I can do through there, and then I don't send out invoices. I don't send out bills, and then it'll do my taxes. It's really for
Right.
my account.
Okay.
With this ConnectBooks, it's robust. It's a little early that I need it, but it's almost $400 a month.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's real money, but if you get, and it's probably more, and again, just like having a VA, I'm doing it just a touch early. But it's the sort of thing you once you get up to 80 to 100K, you have to have it.
Sure.
So, but I know I found out from it through a guy, one of the wholesaling guys, does 500K a month. And
Wow, we'll probably know.
yeah, and he was like, I use it for me. He's like, so like it's robot. You can use it. You're not going to have to use this for a year and then switch. Like
Switch to
there was
something
one
else.
that was like,
It's going to grow with you.
yeah, there was another. I forgot the name of the program that was not this, but like it was like half the price. So it was so close to like 200 a month.
Sure.
And he was like, that was good. That's what we got rid of and had to go to ConnectBooks. He's like, for an extra $180 a month, $100 a month, you can have something that you're just gonna like
Right.
for good. So we'll see.
Nice.
Yeah, that's my Q4 so far. My Q4
John's had a busy one.
is spent on hopefully making money and having my sales go up. But my biggest thing is positioning myself for 2026. Put in systems, do the junk like this ConnectBooks thing.
Get all ready for the big growth.
Yeah, like I'm training my VA how to use it. I need to know how to use it, but to really utilize it and
Right.
get my money's worth out of it. Because there's so many hidden fees, and I'm going to be selling so many of the same product. Like if all of a sudden Amazon changes their fees a little bit, that digs into it's a lot.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm digging into that, and I'm going to make, pretty much. I'm kind of putting in systems now, so when 2026 comes, I got systems in place. I have shipping systems in place, and I can go and not
Right.
worry about not knowing my damn numbers, because that just
Sure.
annoyed me so much. Like in SellerBoard, like you would just get these random
Doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense.
yeah, and it didn't make any sense. I tried to go to like their help, and 3 days later and they're not even in and I was like, this is terrible. And
You needed help then, right
yeah,
now.
it's $20 a month. Like
Yeah, you're going to get $20 a month service.
you're gonna get $20 a month. Like, hey, and really SellerBoard, honestly, like everything works. SellerBoard isn't bad at all. It's just you just got to figure it all out on your own. So
Well, that makes sense. And as you're growing, you need something that you can grow into and let it grow with you as you continue to grow your business.
yeah, and I'm just so afraid of really getting up over that 100K and just not being aware of cash flow, money in, money out, how much I'm actually making, and then all of a sudden doing all that, and it's tracking like my net 30, like how much money I have to spend this month because I have this bill, this bill, and this bill due on these dates when your credit card.
Yeah, that's a huge asset to have towards your business.
Yeah, and it's giving you like true actual P&Ls, correct P&Ls.
Yeah, that's monumental in the business.
Yeah, it's telling you how many returns you're getting, what returns you're reselling, stuff like that. So, yeah, there's just a lot of value in it. And I'm like, I don't want to all of a sudden be one of those people that get to 120K and be like, I have no
Not
money.
know what your numbers are.
Yeah, not know what your numbers are. You're doing good numbers, but like you have no cash.
But
flow.
are you really right? So you'll be able to break it down.
What are
and
you
see all
really
that.
making? Like you just have, like you just like all you do is feel like you're drowning in bills. Like, yeah, money's coming in, but I got like this credit card, this, and it might be like that for a while. But I'd rather just be organized to know,
Right.
like, if I keep scaling, this is what's going to happen. So,
Right.
or how far can I go scale with before I have to make a decision
Right.
to get more money? And that'll always be the decision. So that's my Q4, guys.
Well, like I said, it sounds like you're having a really good one. And I'm excited for John with that. And I know that it's going to get better for the rest of us as we continue to dive more into what we're doing here as well. So let's wrap it up, Pete. What you got for us?
No, I like everything John said. We're actually getting lean too, dropping a few applications we bought earlier in the year, and we're just trying to trim the fat, if you will. And like you said, Blake, we're hoping for a good Q4. We got a couple more weeks to go, and that's the expectation.
Sweet. Well, guys, as always, we want to say thank you for joining us on the Marketplace Mavericks. And until then, if you have any questions or emails for us, send it to marketplacemavericks@gmail.com. Marketplacemavericks@gmail.com. John, finish it out.
Guys, we will see you next week. Working on a guest, so we might have a guest. And guys, keep grinding on your Q4. And
do what you do and do the best you can. Let's do it.
see you guys.